After 10 years of journaling and writing over 3,000 entries of memories, thoughts, and feelings, I finally decided to try something new, and that is audio journaling. Now, after consistently doing it for 30 days, I'm sharing the biggest lessons I learned from my experience and why I encourage you to try it out also. But first, a little bit of background about journaling. Back in 2014, I started a digital journal to capture the best moments of the day in college. What started as a simple diary eventually became a full-fledged daily journal where I documented every hangout, conversation, thought, and raw emotion that I had. It turned into a habit of a whole lot of typing. My average entry would be around 600 words, with some even reaching 4,400 words. I was sometimes writing for nearly an hour, and it was getting a bit out of hand. So to fix this issue, I decided to try audio journaling. My average typing speed is 100 words per minute compared to my talking speed, which can get up to 180 words per minute, almost double my typing speed. That's a massive time saver. That 4,451 word entry I mentioned took at least 45 minutes to type. If I had talked about it instead, it would have saved me around 20 minutes. Over a lot of entries and some years, that's a lot of time saved. Not only that, I'm able to record my audio journals while walking or driving. That's kind of impossible to do with regular written journals. Not to mention, there are tools that can create transcripts for your recordings, so you also have a written version if you really want it. However, there is an advantage to writing. When I write, there's a different type of flow that my brain enters. It's like my mind enters a focused state, and I'm now outside of reality, and that allows me to see things from a more detached perspective, giving me the power to reframe the way I choose to process things. Being able to hit backspace when you use the wrong word or had a wrong thought, and seeing it erased and replaced with something that feels more right, feels good. Each written entry is a neat package, compared to my audio recordings, which are honestly a jumbled mess. But I think there's an honesty and beauty to a more grounded recording. What you sound like when you're speaking, the pauses, nuances of tone, inflection, pace, and the emotion in your voice. All of it captures such an honest look at how you really feel in ways that words on a page just can't. That's the star difference of audio journaling, your voice. What sold me on audio journaling? There was a day after I got back from Japan that stood out to me. It was a day where I was angry at myself for being nowhere near the place I want to be in my life at this moment. And when I audio journaled, I spoke my raw, unfiltered thoughts and expressed my emotions in a way that I usually don't get to when I write. I felt the anger, pain, and struggle in my voice. I felt more connected to the words, speaking them rather than typing them. And that day convinced me that audio captures emotion in a way writing just can't. I've always thought of my written journals as talking to myself, but that's literally what audio journaling is. It might be a little weird for some people at first, but I've been talking to myself in the shower since high school. So I'm a little bit weird already, so it was no problem for me, but trust me, you'll get used to it over time. So at this point, I've actually recorded over 100 audio journals now, well over 30 entries. But it was the 30-day structure that really got me consistently doing it. I think what also helped was that I started posting my audio journals online as well to keep track of it. Helped me really connect with myself and really look at what I did during the day. Just sit down and talk to myself. Was I effective? Was I making progress with the things I really want? It's something that I tried to do with my digital journal back then, but I feel like thanks to just talking out loud and thanks to just sort of bringing it into existence, right? Because when you type something, it's all digital, it's all in your mind. And when you write it, it's also sort of there. It's probably more physical that way. But for audio journaling, when you speak it, it really comes into existence. And there's something about that is quite different from written journaling. There were definitely some missed days. I didn't do it all in a row, but in the end, we did produce 32 days of recordings, each of them talking about the adventure of the day, highlighting how I felt, a lesson learned, and my plans for the next day. Speaking out my thoughts had the same effects as my written journal, where my mind was able to just unload a lot of the day's mental baggage and reset itself for the next day. But the element of speaking it instead was honestly just refreshing. I think sometimes when you do something for a very long time, its effects begin to dwindle and you have to find a new way to evolve it. That's what this was for me, a renewal of a tool and a habit that has helped me through a lot in the past 10 years. With that said, I still use an app called Day One to store my entries, where I add bullet points of events and add photos to have a more visual log of my life. I made a short review on it if you're curious. Anyways, if you've ever struggled to reflect deeply with written journaling, or you just want to try something fresh, I challenge you to try audio journaling for 30 days. Just hit record and speak. You might be surprised by how fun and effective it can be. Audio journaling was what actually led me to trying a 30-day challenge that made a huge impact in my life. But that'll be the next video. So be sure to like and subscribe to catch that. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.